start. Whenever exercise one secure application development, deployment, automation concept. Application is being developed, it is essential to follow secure application development practices. Secure application development will ensure that the application meets all the requirements defined by the company's policy. It is essential to develop the application according to these practices to ensure the application will not be vulnerable to exploits, leading to potential data loss or the data will be compromised. After application is built, protected process is followed to test and then securely deploy it. Software development environment. Each stage needs a different and independent environment. Each stage application developed tested using its environment. Development. Developers code applications. You will find tools for coding such as Microsoft Visual Studio, Eclipse, Apache NetBeans, and Microsoft Code. Test depending on the type of method such as waterfall or agile. Used for developing the application, testers will either test the full or partial application. Staging. The idea is to stimulate the production environment and test the application before it goes out of the production environment. Then, through various stages in which it's found working, it's moved to production environment, which is live environment. Application is made available to the organization users who can either be internal or external, depending on the application architecture. Production environment will likely contain a web server and database server. Software contains different types of errors known as defects, functional complication, runtime logical errors, and inappropriate error handling, calculation. Important to note that the testing occurs late in the software development life cycle. If any of the defects are present in the software, they can either be caught late in the life cycle or there can be a possibility that the defects slip through the testing process. Quality assurance is a method to keep your applications defect-free from policies, guidelines, defined policies, and procedures that must be followed while developing and testing the application. This broad level concept can be applied in any type of product development or industries. You would often buy a product like an electronic gadget and find a small sticker mentioning quality check. Developing software, different types of risks must be thought through. This can be categorized into three different categories. Design errors. Often says no software can be bug free, which is true because intentionally or unintentionally the software developer will leave defects within the software. Malicious entities such as hackers later then exploit these defects. Attacks on the software can be in the form of malware. Ever-changing technological environment. Technological landscape is changing daily. There is always a risk of introducing new errors because of the software developers are not skilled enough to handle these errors. Hackers are one step ahead of technology awareness and develop innovative methods to find bugs and defects in developed system. Malicious insider is an employee of the company. Conducts malicious activity which may create vulnerability in the software when it's being developed. Okay. Part of the software engineering process will need to perform several tests of the software being developed. Several software assurance tools that can be used in a secure software product. Some of the key software assurance tools that you can use are Find Bugs, Beach, Sonar, Cube. Yet another source code analyzer. Will be used for performance testing, adherence, best practices. Software Assurance Maturity Model is an open framework that can be tailored by an organization to manage software development with security risk. Evaluate software security practices with the software. Demonstrate improvement to existing security assurance program. Define and measure security-related activities that exist in the organization. Governance, strategy, metrics, policy and compliance, education, guidance, construction, security requirements, threat assessment, secure architecture, verification, design review, implementation review, security testing, operation, issue management, environment hardening, operation and enablement. Provisioning and deprovisioning can be used in different contexts. Used in the context of user account, we create a user account and assign permissions to access resources in the network. A provision a user account. Similarly, we remove the access to the user account or deprovisioning the user account's permission. Similar to the user content provisioning and deprovisioning are also using application text. We configure an application to run on a particular system, which means we are provisioning it. Integrity measurement runs with a certain text of executables. Executable is invoked, its integrity is checked and verified to ensure it is legitimate. Secure coding techniques is generally considered to be difficult. There is no single practice that makes an application secure. You would have to put several methods into practice, but remember that you should not make things complicated for yourself. Data normalization is the process of reorganizing the data in the database to ensure that there is no duplicate, redundant data, that all data is stored logically. Grouping data that depends on the other data will increase the database performance. Use a database for an application. Database may contain redundant data, which can eventually impact the database performance. On NF, first normal forms 2NF, second 3NF, third normal BCNF, voice code, and fourth, fifth, sixth. Store procedure, group of SQL statements that we reuse as required. Obfuscation is a method which applications waiting to make it difficult to interpret inner functionality. Code reuse, that code method of utilizing an existing code in a new software application and develop piece of code that is working with the existing application. It's possible that the code can be used in another application they are developing. Server-side, client-side execution and validation. Submit a firm web application. Second level pre-input validation is being performed. Validation required to restrict the user from entering any table malicious input. Server-side validation method. This method, the input is sent to the server for validation. After server validation response is sent back to the user, typically on a dynamically generated page. Memory management must use security management method while coding or developing application. Not handled properly can lead to various memory-related vulnerabilities or buffer overflow, which the attacker can be exploited. Third-party libraries and software development kits provide components and features that you can avoid developing by using third-party libraries or SDK. Data exposure at any given time. Data can be in one of the three stages: data at rest, data in transit, data in use. When developing an application, developers must ensure the data at whatever stage must be handled correctly. For example, if a user uses the application submission for download, data in the transit data should be protected by encryption. Similar cases to the other two stages, the data must never be exposed to any individual who is not entitled to see or access the data. Maybe malicious data can not only lose its confidentiality but its availability and integrity can also be at stake. Proper coding techniques should be used for implementing security controls to protect the data at any given stage. Open Web Application Security Project (OWASP), worldwide non-profit community dedicated to assisting organizations and developers to improve security of development software web applications. Software diversity, rapidly customized form different function layout requirements, bring out different variants of application to run on different architectures. Automation scripting. An administrator, security professional performs several tasks across manual intervention. Windows, PowerShell, Bash files, Linux, Bash, and other variants.